It is that fundamental belief, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that makes this country work. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Some people are divided by religion, yeah. Oh, yeah. Some people are divided by their greed, yeah. Some people are divided by deception, yeah. Oh, yeah. Some have a lot of money but still in need, yeah. The time has come to help your hurting brother. Time has come to think about your sister. Can't turn a blind eye to their need, yeah. Share some love to help your hurting brother. Share some love to help your fallen sister. One God, one faith, one destiny, yeah. It's time for unity, yeah. Deception is tumbling down, live in unity, yeah, yeah. Division must be broken down, unite in dignity, yeah. United under God we stand. Unity is power for all. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Well, everything around us is changing, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing will ever be the same, yeah. Limitless scope for transformation, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yet no one has the answer for the pain, yeah. Selfishness and greed have many blinded. Heartlessness has many people suffering. Why can't we see our brothers' pain, yeah? Children are hungry and they are crying. Mothers are hurting and they are sighing. Yet all we care about is gain, yeah. It's time for unity, yeah. Deception is tumbling down, live in unity, yeah, yeah. Division must be broken down, unite in dignity, yeah. United under God we stand. Unity is power for all. Time for unity, yeah.
Things are falling apart much faster than you can imagine. If you do not take immediate steps now to save yourself, it will get very serious very quickly. We must come together now to save ourselves economically, socially and spiritually. You must find a strong support system while you can, because things are falling apart fast. Be smart. Let us come together to survive the perilous days ahead. This is not about who you are, or what you have. When the day is over, you will be left to face the harsh reality alone. The days of segregation are over. Don't wait until trouble set in and you find yourself up against the wall. Get registered with Lifeline today to secure support before you need it. Lifeline is not only the support giant of the BVI. Lifeline is the family you need to help you through the difficult days ahead. Don't be foolish. Nothing will get better. Save yourself now before things turn for the worst. Become a registered member of the Lifeline family now and we will help you through the challenging days ahead. You can depend on us. Find us at 4 Mill Mall or call us at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvilimited@gmail.com for more information.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future. Good evening, and welcome again to another broadcast of The Raw Truth. And of course, we are going pretty for now. And an amazing day so far. We are saying very special welcome to all our friends from across the world, wherever you're watching us from. And of course, the Raw Truth tends to become a very interesting Monday evening presentation as we bring you different programs from different parts of the world. And of course, tonight I thought it might be quite interesting to present to you another a snippet of a broadcast we earlier had, which I think it is quite interesting that I shared this with you, because it was actually a 7-hour broadcast. Yes, 7 hours, 7 into 8 hours, 7.5, 8 hours, which loaded with information. And I think it is something that I might probably need to rerun with you. Now, this is raw and unedited information that I think I would like to share with you. And it has to do with our indigenous rights as a people, peoples of the Americas. And I think when you look at it, there is much merit in what this gentleman will be saying to us. And I'm going to ask you to share this with all your friends, because you'll find it absolutely very interesting. I know that the language might be a little interesting, perhaps, and at some point it might even get quite adult. Let me caution you that the language may get very adult. The teacher is an American, and I'm sure in their neck of the woods they cuss the F word and all of that quite frequently. They don't care of rats, but we, this side of the world, perhaps would have a hell of a lot of problems with it. But should you hear that in the 2 hours that I'll be presenting to you tonight, please understand that it was presented to a mature audience. And of course, our teacher, if that's their culture to cuss F words while they're making their presentations, and you probably just have to throw him out with the chair, perhaps. But when the day is over, he did make some very interesting points. And I think it is very interesting that we note the points made as we look at our indigenous heritage. Yes? So share this with your friends. I think it's an absolutely interesting presentation, very interesting presentation. And I think you will learn a whole lot from this presentation as we give you at least 2 hours of the presentation. Let me welcome all our friends, wherever in the world you're from. As usual, let me welcome Rosalie Knight. Good evening, Rosalie. I hope all is going good for you. Watching from Toronto. Welcome, Toronto. Let me welcome Vilna Brown as well, and all our other friends who are connected with us tonight, wherever you're watching us from. The BVI, USA, Canada, Africa, England, wherever in the world you are. Let me welcome you to the Raw Truth tonight. Yes, this could be very interesting. It's a part of our presentation at the the Virgin Islands National Assembly. It's an indigenous group here in the Virgin Islands. And of course, as we watch the presentation unfold before our faces, absolutely credible information for the most part. You have no control over one's opinion. However, look at the facts as they're presented, and I'm sure this will be absolutely amazing as we roll through the presentation tonight. I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to present the gentleman to you so he can begin his presentation. So let me get right into it after this word. We have also coming up, I need you to hear. He's a no-nonsense man. I think we have some heavyweights in the business tonight. And when he's done, you will wonder where in hell this man has been. Where have all these people been? Where has Judge Seven been? Where has this man been? It's an amazing panel of people who are currently here to share with us in a way that is going to be absolutely unusual as we move forward tonight. Without wasting much time, because we would like to present some people who we have added to the Council of Elders and the Chief Council. Those are coming up after we present to you this special gentleman. But coming to you from the Confederacy of Aborigine America, we have with us tonight Chief Koto Kibe. Koto Kibe, forgive me if I call it wrong, if I pronounce your name wrong, my brother.
It's all good, bro.
This man is a heavyweight in the matter of indigenous law, the absolute original position of our existence, going back over 400,000 years, perhaps. This gentleman has been doing this for all his life, and he's here tonight to help us to understand some absolutely crazy facts which will blow your mind to smithereens. Without further ado, let us present to you, I call him the Honorable Koto Kibe, His Excellency. Please stand.
Everyone. How y'all doing out there? What's good? Come on, give me some feedback. I need feedback. Y'all give me energy. I'm gonna give y'all energy, right?
Peace and balance.
Peace and balance.
Balance.
Peace.
And that means everybody out there.
Peace.
Y'all, yeah. Get it. So,
Ashe, much love.
much love.
Halito Kota.
Halito Osio.
Osio.
Halito. In. Namaste if you're into it, right? Whatever we got. I want to start off. I am the Inca, not the Grand Inca, but just the Inca of what's known as the Iroquois Confederacy of Nations. To put it more precise, the Iroquois Confederacy of Aborigine American people. Right? And from our standpoint, and understanding the laws that govern the lawmakers who make the laws and mandates, and to understand how one gets into that and how one can get out of it. And it's all done with the law. All news you can use as soon as you can understand it. Can y'all dig it? What y'all think about that, right? I don't know, it sounds good to me. What does that sound like to y'all? So if I may get a little screen share, my brother, if that's cool. If I can get a little screen share action, you know, I like to show and then talk about what we showing, you know.
Yeah, go ahead, my king. Go ahead.
Appreciate it. I think we got it right now. Okay. Everybody see that? I can't see it, but can y'all see it?
I see it.
Yeah.
Yes, I see it.
So being Aboriginal
Yes, I see
people-
it.
Great, great. So being wherever in the part of the world you at, that is the fight. But it's not much of a fight if you are truly who you are. And the problem is a lot of Aborigine people have been assimilated into a foreign status in their own land. In particular, the Aborigine people of America. Colonization of our lands began not in 1492. I repeat, not in 1492, but in the 11th and 1200s. They came from the Pacific, not the Atlantic. They came through what's known as not only Alaska, but California, Central America, all the way Argentina, all the way over to Florida, and it's been going on for a minute. With that being stated, assimilation is the act of the definition of assimilation, right? Assimilation. It's good to get some definitions on hand, right? So let's see. Oxford got up here, what they got? They got process of taking in and fully understanding information or ideas, assimilation. The absorption and digestion of food, and that is not what we into. We into assimilation of peoples. Process of becoming similar or something. So to absorb something into another, like people. Oops. Assimilation of peoples, right? So the assimilation of a people is to take you from out of who you are and to put you as someone else. It's called assimilation. And it's done through a myriad of ways called colonization. Assimilation means, boom, Encyclopedia Britannica, let's see what they got to say, and then we'll see what etymology has to say. Anthropology and sociology, where's the process whereby individuals of groups of differing ethnic heritage are absorbed into a so-called dominant culture of society, in this case, be called the United States of America, the British Crown, et cetera, so on and so forth. Colonization, right? And what they've effectively done is successfully convince people to assimilate in their system. Anybody who knows and heard about the integration conflicts of the 60s understands where I'm coming from. Anybody familiar with that? The whole, everybody want to be integrated instead of segregated?
Yes.
Do y'all remember that?
Yes, that was terrible.
It was, but if you were back then and being fed that you was from this Africa place, and then worse yet, you was fed this idea that this ain't even your land, that's a problem. That forces one to say, well, this ain't my land. Might as well go make some money over here. And what's even worse than that, a lot of indigenous people, Aboriginal peoples of the Americas, no matter if you're from the islands, no matter if you're from Kefik Lubin Island, the most northerly point of land on earth, to Greenland, Nova Scotia, Canada, Alaska, so-called United States of America, so-called Mexico, you get it, Central America, the islands on both Hawaiian Islands, etc., and the Antilles Islands, right? St. Vincent, Jamaica, Cuba, the myriads of islands, right? So the Americas, down to Chile, South America, and all of that. And the biggest thing that they did to our people was convince us that we're something we're not. So I like to use a thing called etymology. Etymology means the origin or the truth of the matter. It's called the etymon. And we must know this because English is what they call connotative and denotative. And English means all a combination of European language put together for the purpose of business and commerce. Of that. Anybody aware of that? The English in its various forms is
Yes.
the global language of commerce.
Yes.
So you've been taught a commercial language, how to act commercial, talk commercial, and we all know commerciality, or if you don't, is a fiction created by those who would take your land and your resources, right? That being stated, etimon is from Greek, etimon, etimos, and that means true, real, and actual. So when we have etymology, the ology part, which is the study of, now we got the study of things that are true, real, and actual. And the reason why this is true is because everyone here thinks in words, true or false. Where y'all at, people? Give me some feedback. Come on.
So true.
Real.
Of course.
And does everybody here also, can we also agree? And please let's voice you. Do we agree, since we think in words, we also dream in words? Like when you're dreaming, are you ever talking to people and stuff like that, interacting? I don't know.
Yes. We do. We do. Yes,
Oh,
we
man.
do.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
And words describe both the seen and the unseen, and both known and unknown.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give it away. Absolutely. So since words, you could really say words are God, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and guess what the term
Yes,
God
they
means?
control everything.
Yeah, well, they do control everything, and guess what God means? Guess what the term God means? It ain't what you think. God really means, it could be a God-like person and all that, but that's God-like person. But God really comes from gut, meaning, what does God really mean? That which is what? What?
Invoked to be
Mean-
worshipped and
No, not,
sacrificed.
it don't, no, don't say to be worshipped. But this read this, that which is what? What we have? people?
Award.
Okay,
Invoked.
that which is,
Truth.
yeah, invoke meaning words that you say. Meaning simply means to what?
To call.
All.
But
Okay.
to invoke, meaning you just calling, you're talking. Meaning talking or speech is calling and invoking, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so and all of that consists of this stuff called words, true or false?
True.
Words. Yes.
True.
Now, what happens when you don't know what those words really mean and you start saying words? What happens at that point?
Mm.
You suffer.
To be invoking a bunch of stuff onto yourself.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're
That
saying.
you have no idea. So that's what everybody is guilty of on this line. If you're an Aborigine of America.
Misinformation.
Misinformation. Well, yeah, to say the least. That's polite about it. That's the polite way. I like to, like my man said, he said, I'm no nonsense. I'm just gonna call it bullshit. Like garbage, right? That's what I'm gonna call it. So I got freedom of speech. What y'all got? Okay, so here we go. Right? This for big people. If there's little people on there, we'll calm it down. But we need to hear this. And the more we know, the better we can truly do. Would y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Truth ain't nothing to be convinced. So I ain't here to convince nobody of crap. I'm here to tell y'all that. I don't give two scraps about y'all because I don't know none of y'all, no more than y'all know me. But guess what?
True.
I'm about to give y'all this.
Things are falling apart much faster than you can imagine. If you do not take immediate steps now to save yourself, it will get very serious very quickly. We must come together now to save ourselves economically, socially and spiritually. You must find a strong support system while you can because things are falling apart fast. Be smart. Let us come together to survive the perilous days ahead. This is not about who you are or what you have. When the day is over, you will be left to face the harsh reality alone. The days of segregation are over. Don't wait until trouble set in and you find yourself up against the wall. Get registered with Lifeline today to secure support before you need it. Lifeline is not only the support giant of the BVI. Lifeline is the family you need to help you through the difficult days ahead. Don't be foolish. Nothing will get better. Save yourself now before things turn for the worst. Become a registered member of the Lifeline family now and we will help you through the challenging days ahead. You can depend on us. Find us at 4 Mill Mall or call us at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvilimited@gmail.com for more information.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future.
Things are falling.
And of course, I'm presenting you an excerpt from a presentation which was presented at the Virgin Islands National Assembly. And Mr. Kibe, an American, during his presentation, quite interesting, I thought. And while the language may not be necessary up the street of many of us, he presented quite some very interesting facts, and I think it is something that I wanted to share with you tonight. So let's get back to the presentation.
So the etymology, the true definition, so English is both what they call connotative linguistics, meaning how a word is used, or slang, how a word is used, as in denotative linguistics, meaning the truth of the word. Now, let me ask everybody, and what the difference is, an important difference is, can y'all build a house with just a screwdriver? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Connotative linguistics or slang is the equivalent of building a solid house with just a screwdriver. That's the garbage. That's the lie, so to speak. Just because I say I am going to the crib, what did I say when I'm gonna catch y'all later, I'm going to the crib. What did I just say?
Going home.
Right. But crib really means a space and a place where you put animals, or it can mean a house of prostitution, or it can mean, it don't even mean where you put babies, because that's called a bassinet. See, not a crib, but people slangily call a bassinet crib. So that's a problem there. But anyway, a crib, cribbage, etc. don't mean I'm going home. So connotatively, yes, it means I'm going home, but that's the screwdriver attempting to build a house. That just don't mean nothing. That's small talk.
Exactly.
But the reality of a crib is totally different than what one thinks. So American, the term, is totally different than what one may think, and it has several definitions. So every word has at least 3 separate, distinct, ain't got nothing to do with each other definitions, right? Called the connotative definition, the denotative definition, and then you got the law definition. And ain't none of them 3 the same. So don't even, and if you collude them, then you all messed up. You just messed up because now you don't know what the word mean when you say it. And when somebody else says words, you don't know what they mean by them words. True that?
True that.
So let's read some words. So American, meaning one of the Aboriginal, keep a mind out.
I talk a lot of sense, man.
Aboriginal peoples, which means the original or people from the beginning. It don't mean away from the beginning, but it means from the beginning. Like if I be like, where you from? You could be like my mama. You feel me? You wouldn't be wrong. True or false?
True.
So that means we ain't the original, now does it? We ain't the original because we ain't original over our mothers, are we? who we came from. True that?
True that. Connotative.
And she
True
ain't the original because she came from her mother. And her mother came and, you know, all the way back to when we didn't have bodies and, you know, that place. But Aboriginal simply means we are the people from the beginning. So now one of the people from the beginning, and you can't discover anybody. Can you discover anybody or can you only meet people?
The latter. Meat.
Right, you can't go up to a nightclub or
When I
something,
clean it, you need a
plant a flag and somebody be like, hey, I discovered you, you and me. Right? Like you go to the new car dealership and go discover you a new automobile, right? Can you do that? Or maybe you go to the grocery store and discover you a cart while you discovering some groceries. Would they lock you up or be like, cool, you discovered it? Which one they gonna be? No, for real, which one they gonna be? Come on, let's play real thinking. Which one they gonna do? No, I asked this question in court. So what they gonna do? Pretend you the judge, and I'm asking you that question.
You going to jail?
Judge, if I go into a new car dealership and discover me an automobile and drive off the lot with it, what y'all gonna do to me?
Arrest you.
They gonna lock you up.
Lock you up.
Great. What y'all need to do is put handcuffs on yourself because that's what y'all did to my people.
Right.
Well, that's what you tell them. Because we are the original people of the entire what?
Western Hemisphere.
See, that's top to bottom. What's the Western Hemisphere, you may ask? Let's check that out.
Planet.
Oh, it is the planet, the whole west side, so-called west side of the planet. There ain't no east or west or north or south on the ball.
North, Central, and South America.
But the Western Hemisphere is the whole of the top of the globe to the bottom of the globe, and this is the Americas. Everything that's not the Western Hemisphere is the Eastern Hemisphere, and those of the Eastern Hemisphere are not American. Those people are Asiatica folk. Now I'm setting the stage up for this, straight up and down. And let's see who the Asiatica folk, and then you must identify who you are independently. Are you American or are you an Asiatica folk? See, Asiatica folk is part of the Nordisk family, meaning they all the same what? People, true or false?
True.
True.
Says Asiatica folk. But yet you see the Caucasian. Somebody spell Caucasian. Go ahead and spell Caucasian without Asian.
You can't.
Can't. Somebody spell Malaysian without Asian.
You can't.
Without Asian?
Nope. Or Asiatic.
Or Asiatic without so Asiatica. So here's the reality. This is from the Bloomberg Project. 1904. It is their writing, their people about their people. Let's pay attention. So the Asiatica folk, being in the Caucasians and everybody in between, the Malaysians, the so-called Hindustanis or the Indians from India, the Hindustanis, as well as the so-called Africans or the Negritos. See, the Negritos, right there, number 18, Negritos is in the same family as the Tartars, as the Javan, as the Japan, as the Korean. See, they lied to you. As the Arab, as the Jude, as the Vedas. See, we are the Americans. Everybody else is not us. Are we clear? Or unless you one of these people, then you one of those people. It's not a problem being those people, but the problem being those people, these are the people who are over here right now taking our land. Would y'all agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
I agree.
We have a statement, all kinfolk ain't kinfolk. And it's obvious right here because these are these people. But when we look up the Aborigines of the Western Hemisphere, which contains all the islands, top to bottom, left to right, which is my brothers and sisters from the Americas on this line right now. If you ain't from the Americas, I'm not talking to you. I might be talking at you, but I ain't talking to you. And that's real, because you the problem. If that's who you is, you the problem, you and your damn people, and go the fuck home. If that's who you is. That's how I feel about it, and I'm always state that, because I could prove why I feel that way, because here's the reality. So the people from Asia Tiska, so-called Europeans, Africans, and other people came over to our house and broke in under their discovery mission, right? And they religious crusades and whatnot. They brought all that over here. Add 720 plus years to the mix, and you don't know nothing about who your people are, and everybody grasping at straws because school ain't taught nobody nothing but connotative linguistics. Do y'all understand?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's American in one definition. But Coda, let's get a different dictionary. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm good with that. Let's do that. We'll go with Noah Webster's.
1828.
1828 dictionary. You know, my grandmama always taught me, you say, son, you want to know the truth, go back in time. Because the older something is, the closer to the truth you get until you get to the mouth of the one who said it or the hand who wrote it. And that's news you can use every day, period. Can y'all dig that?
Yep.
Okay. So let's see what the heck an American is. Again, one more again. American, it's a noun, meaning it's a person, place, a thing, and it states a native of America. Notice it don't say Native American, does it?
No.
But a native with a small n, which means Aborigine as well. Native small n of America. And this symbol means they about to define, further clarify this phrase. So when you see this, you can say meaning. So I like to say American, pause, it's a noun, a native of America, meaning originally applied to the Aboriginals, people from the beginning, who are the what?
Copper colored races.
Where y'all at, people? Come on.
Right here. All right here.
Man, there's 55 people on this line. I don't hear nothing.
No, I'm not black, so I'll fall under the copper colored people.
Right. And if you put something black on the back of y'all's hands, and I want y'all to do that, and go find a penny that might be, see. And if you want to do this experiment, put something black on the back of your hand, and then put something of copper. It's best to get a pre-1983 penny if you can, because the new ones is mostly zinc, and it's just electroplated copper, so it don't corrode or erode and age the same. Can you dig it? So a pure copper penny will be pre-1983. So if you got some pre-1983 pennies around, should be a bunch of them, put some on the back of your hand, put something black on the back of your hand, and figure out what color you really are. Can you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dig it.
Yeah.
Everybody could do that experiment and just ask yourself if you black, and if you think you black, because it might be a culture or something, you got to know what that term means. So again, you should never use words if you don't know the definitions. Can y'all dig it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Dig it.
Yeah.
Dig it.
You got to know three of them. You got to know the connotative, the denotative, and then the lawful definition, because all of these also have a lawful definition. And here's another point and key. Inside the lawful definitions, you will have 3 or more definitions, because there's 3 or more original definitions. So they got a law definitions for each style or term of how you might say it. So there's a lawful definition of a Native American, so-called Indian tribes as well. There's also the Aborigines of America, also called Indians and Indian tribes. But then you also got, dig this, people from so-called India, Asia, also so-called Indians. Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Y'all understand
Dig
that?
it. Dig it.
And dig it.
The 3 ain't the same. Just like American here is belonging to the copper colored races. Well, who's the copper colored races, right?
Mm-hmm. Emblem of America,
Dig it.
1798.
Man, and we could go 1772 Library of Congress as well. And we could go to a lot of spaces and places and scope. I mean, we can go all the way to the Bonham-Pack murals, right?
True.
Dig it. Dig it.
Right on the pyramids in the Americas, which are the oldest pyramids on the planet, by the way.
Dig it. Dig it.
And the most.
And the most. They just uncovered a new city with 62,000 pyramidal structures.
Dig it.
It's gonna take them the next 100 years, and they stated it has a 26-lane super highway that goes for 5,000 square miles.
True that.
That's
True
a
that.
good thing.
We've been
Here
here.
we are at the British Museum, and if anybody was gonna lie, the British Museum would be lying. True or false? If they was gonna
True.
whitewash it,
True that.
then they would just whitewash it and cover up. So it's good to get from the colonizers' hand themselves of their articulation of what they saw when they came here, as opposed to what school told you.
True that.
True that.
All that poppycocking. We're gonna show slavery never existed, and I do mean never. Because ask your mama, was she a slave? She'll be like, nope. And then be like, ask your grandmama, was she a slave? She gonna be like, nope. And then ask your grandmama, was her mama a slave? She gonna be like, nope.
Nope.
That means her mama wasn't a slave. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
True that. True that.
And then you got to look up the definition of a slave. We about to go there all the way.
Slavs.
Slavs.
Hey, did y'all know the Slavs are also the Britons? Well, also
Yes.
the original
True
word
that.
for slave.
True that.
And we're going to go into that for those who may not know.
I'm telling.
British Museum, object and emblem of America, right? We're going to do our own description because we don't need their description. But it's produced by Haynes and Son. The style of artwork is definitely British. It was produced, in fact, in 1798. All the while slavery and shit going on, so they say, right?
So they say.
So they say.
And it was published in London, England, Europe, the British Isles, etc. Material, mezzotint, etching hand colored.
Yes,
Mezzotint
sir.
is the original color, but to etching, so they etch this image on a copper plate first. And then they use a mezzotint or a type of ink to print the image on the page. And then they went in and hand colored it. Y'all got that?
Yes.
True that.
Those are the art terms called etching, mezzotint, and hand colored. In other words, somebody spent a lot of hours producing this on metal, because you can't erase metal if you make a mistake. You just got to start over or sand it off or sand the whole thing off, because then it'll look funny with a sand spot and everything else is all sheeny and gleaming. True or false?
True.
Okay, so that's very meticulous work. So they didn't do this for the lighthearted or for the jokey joke, is my point.
Yes.
Earth shaking information. Earth
And it
shaking.
states, to back up the definition of etymology, it states a representation of who? The African people?
American peoples.
Wait, does it say the African people?
American people.
Wait, the Moorish people.
American people.
Wait, the Ethiopian people.
American people.
Hold on, the European people.
American people.
And the Asian people.
American people.
What? Hindustan.
And the American people.
That's
Australia.
right.
American people.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you for that. Man.
Us.
So here we are. And
That's us.
around on the quality on me right now, so I might have to do some. You see it slowly, super slowly, getting some resolution on it. But we could clearly see it states an emblem of Africa on the bottom, don't it?
America.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Real consistent.
Our
I'm just
land.
gonna grill it in. So if you from Africa, Fuck you, right? So that's for y'all right there. I mean, it's not that I don't like you, it's just that I really don't like you. So it's cool not to like people who come over here stealing other people's stuff. That's all right. It's not cool for you to come in somebody's house and steal their stuff, no matter if you from Africa, Tartary, Europe, wherever the hell you from. If you ain't from here, then you thieving, period.
Period.
And that's according to law, which we
Yeah.
don't get into.
Yeah.
'Cause all things are governed by words, and there's a lot of words in the form of the stuff called law. And you can't be like, them words ain't important and other words are if you don't know the meanings of them words. True or false?
That's right. That's right.
We got here right now. We better know words.
Man, but a lot of people, it's because of the miseducation through all the years of schooling y'all had, whether it be college and the higher in school you went, the more garbage your mind became. It's not that you don't have a brilliant mind, it's just they dumbed the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? They took your light away.
We gonna get it back through.
Oh,
Well, you know what he said. If we
y'all
ever
gonna
see
get
the
it back
light of
tonight.
day, they
Man, we kicking it off with what? Go ahead,
Yeah.
sis. In lie what? And what's our greeting? What's the
He
greeting?
said, if
And
we
like
ever see the light of day, they
Man.
look and we see the light.
We're getting it back as we speak.
Yeah,
as you
because
speak.
in la
In la K,
in means the light in me, honors the light in you, for we are from
the same light.
That's right.
That don't give you shivers, then I'm gonna say one people, many nations. Therefore, our many nations are nothing but one people. Now that's power of unity right there. And that's
shit.
that's the law. So we can see this is in fact the emblem of America. And does this look like a Native American of today?
No.
No.
And y'all sisters still be wearing these boots.
Yeah,
right?
we
Call them
do.
the American.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask y'all a question. Does this sister right here look like a slave, and why? Point out the reasons why. Does she look like a slave?
No.
How come
No.
she don't look like a slave? No? Okay, great.
Look at
Why?
her jewelry.
Okay.
Look at her beautiful headpiece. Look at the fox around her neck or whatever kind of animal skin that
probably
is.
a jaguar.
A jaguar. All right.
Look at her beautiful color.
Look at her beautiful color and her face and her eyes and her nose and her lips. That's us.
Wow.
I'm gonna say, so I'm gonna add to the richness of that. I'm gonna say, look at that big ass arrow she got. Like, I'm gonna say, look at that big ass bow she got. And then I'm gonna say, look at all the extra ammunition she got in the back. So I'm gonna say, you don't give slaves big ass bows and arrows and ammunition, talking about you are enslaved. What?
No.
That don't even sound right. Do it.
Exactly.
You make it make sense if you say so. If you say, yeah, that's what happened, man, make that make sense. You can't make that make sense.
Can't.
No,
can't.
because that everything that ain't this is a lie.
Yeah.
There you go. Because it states an emblem of America, and the ethnic name, the ethnicity of the people is a representation of the American peoples. Well, damn, I'll be damned if that don't match up with the native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals. Keep an eye out for that word, because that's the second time we see it. Or copper colored races, right? So the copper colored races matches up, everything is in alignment. True or false?
True.
True.
Yeah.
So if you proclaim to be something other than your heritage, that's how you lost it. I'll keep reiterating that as we go through this presentation. And again, they want to use this found here by the Europeans. Well, the Europeans ain't never lost us because they ain't got shit to do with us, so they can only meet people. So that's a divisive word, found, because you can't find people. So they still with the devices, but as long as you understand that you can't find people, certain things feel free to omit. But the important is copper color and aboriginals, and cross-reference that. So now we got two definitions so far from two different sources. Remember, we're going to get a. So let's see it in every aspect. Then we can understand that vaccines and this, that to you. Why? Because once you embrace our laws, the laws of your ancestors, right? And once you embrace your identity of your ancestors, once you embrace who you are thoroughly protected. There's no need to worry And I'm going to say that for real, for real. Ain't no need to worry. Heaven and hell on the same street. Y'all don't even know it. Your higher self and your lower self is all within you. Your savior and your devil is within you. If you want to see who they is, look in the daggone mirror. You make great
True that.
and messed up choices on the daily.
True that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take you on a super spiritual journey. Ain't got nothing to do with religion. Pooey on religion. So if you
True that.
If you religious, I ain't gonna say the FU bomb, but I'm gonna say the FU bomb. So there it is. I didn't say that, but that's where that is. You just gotta like drop that which don't belong to you. So I'm gonna help you drop it. We're gonna talk all about everything. We're gonna
I'll say it for you next time.
But what's that, sis? What?
I'll say it for you next time.
Oh, you can say it for me this time. Oh, you ain't even gotta wait. Go ahead and say it. Who's that, sis? One more time.
Fuck 'em.
Man, use your freedom of speech. Say it loud, say it proud.
Fuck 'em.
I want everybody to join in.
If you take your flu shot, you might win $10,000.
God damn.
OMG.
And you might die before you get to collect it.
You'll never get to see that joint. Hey, and then and you know the funny thing about it? See, here's the thing. The bank makes the money, correct?
Uh-huh.
Then the bank creates the corporations, and then the corporations are established to take the resources and et cetera and create other stuff. But then
Unbelievable.
they hire you, right? And then they hire you, give you the money that the bank created. True that?
True that.
Then y'all turn right back around and give it right back to the corporations. True that?
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, everybody put it back into what?
Corporation.
Damn, so you mean the bank make the money, then you give it right?
360 degrees.
That means you a slave right there, because who the hell work for free and you working for free if you the bank made the money, a IOU, and it ain't even money, it's an IOU, fiat currency. So they gave you an IOU, they ain't even pay you for your blood. IOU, and then check this out, you give the IOU back to them, and then at the end of the cycle, they burn all the evidence.
They burn it.
Oh, wow. You know, I never thought of that. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Good, because that is what
complete circle.
Monopoly. I got 720 degrees around this joint. Shit, I go more than that, but definitely complete circle. Peace. What's good? Hell is low, but what's happening? All right, so we there. Peace. That's what I'm talking about, y'all.
Peace.
Good. Ain't like King again. So this is why we don't have to worry, because since we have our own laws, their laws and the policies and the mandates don't apply to us as being Aborigine and indigenous to the Americas in particular. Can y'all understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They stated right here, because this covers COVID-19 and indigenous peoples. Remember, I said, if you really want to know the truth, go to the law, right?
Yep.
Don't go to no fairy tale book. You go to the damn law. Well, do y'all go to a fairy tale book written by some author who you don't know what the hell they talking about? Or do you go by what the law say? Which one y'all do?
The law.
The what? Where y'all
Law.
at? 56.
The law.
More people done got on. Where y'all at? Don't be quiet.
Irania.
Stop that. So the law. So we go to the law. And this is the chair of the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues, right? And they talk about the threat and the pandemic. Through that?
Yes.
We're gonna pay attention to this. This is the best two paragraphs that you're gonna read in your life. Can y'all dig it? Can we get a little mute on some background, people? Feel free to unmute yourself by all means. So everybody can hear it. That'd be cool, because some of y'all got backgrounds and very echoey, boomy. You know, just don't want to compete too much. So it states, as lockdowns continue, and how many of you people are experiencing lockdowns in the places and spaces that you're at right now? Jamaica? Who else? I know at mainland, they be doing lockdowns. Where else they do lockdowns at? Where y'all from? Come on, y'all. Where y'all at? Where the lockdowns at? Everybody talking about lockdowns and COVID. Joyce, where you from? Athena, where you at? Art?
I'm from Jamaica, but I'm in America.
Okay, lockdowns where you at? Y'all
No.
copy that. No lockdowns. Great.
No.
I'm
So
from
let's
Jamaica.
track- Jamaica. Who in Jamaica? They locking it down?
Yes, we're still under lockdown until Wednesday. We're free.
Okay. We got E. George, Erickson Penn Taylor. I'm just Galaxy S10. What's up, Galaxy S10? Man, the Galaxy on the line. You know it got to be good when Galaxy on the line. Oh man, we got Galaxy 8. Man, we got 2 Galaxies on the line. I'm down with the Galaxies, man. See how powerful this is? We got 2 Galaxies checking it out, right?
I'm in Maryland, Galaxy S10.
Man, what's going on, Galaxy? S10. I'm just gonna call it Galaxy. Galaxy of Maryland. Well, better yet, the Galaxy that's just happened to be visiting Maryland. How about that? Y'all locking it down over there? They acting crazy at the jobs and this, that, and the third. What's going on?
No, I just got out the military, so yeah, I'm good at the moment. No lockdowns over here.
Okay,
No
great.
vaccines.
Copy that. Good thing. And being indigenous and embracing your heritage, which is just a lot more, let me be honest, than just saying you indigenous and Aborigine. There's laws with this thing. And we'll show how people lost their heritage and at the same time show you how to get it back. Can't ask for nothing better than that. So as lockdowns continues in numerous countries with no timeline in sight, indigenous people, our people, who are already face food insecurity in some spaces as a result of the loss of our traditional lands and territories. True, because colonization. That should tell you we, because we lost it to them, so that tell you we ain't got to take the vaccine right there because they admitting genocide. Confront even graver challenges and access to food. So what food got to do with COVID is beyond me. Anyway, with the loss of our traditional livelihoods and our lands, which they stole, which are often land-based, many of our people are forced to assimilate and work in traditional occupations. Look right there. And subsistence economies, meaning government assistances and shit like that, right? Subsidies. Or in the, informal sector will be adversely affected by the pandemic. Okay, great. But it states the situation of our women, who are often the main providers of food and nutrition to our families, is even graver. But this is the most important. So that sets it up how they want to do all this stuff to our people. But here's a beautiful word called yet. Same as the term but, right? Yet, what do we have a right to do? Somebody read this sentence right here slowly. Don't read it fast, savor the flavor. Let's go.
Indigenous peoples are seeking their own solutions to this pandemic.
Boom, meaning we do what we want to do. True or false?
Am right.
Boom, which means what? Go ahead, sis.
They are taking action and using traditional knowledge and practices such as voluntary isolation and sealing off their territories, as well as preventative measures in their own languages.
Boom. See, it don't affect us once you're us. That's the whole rub. See, the whole rub, it was never lawful what they did in the first place. So you ain't got to jump through no hoops to undo it. The burden is on them, not on you. Right? The burden on them. They got to prove you one of their people.
Yes.
But the only way they prove that you their people is through the birth certificate, social security card, and by you admitting to all that shit on their documents. True or false?
True.
Contracts, right? You agree to it in writing, and writing of words. But funny how everybody got all these words to say, but they never read the words of a contractor signing their life away. I always found that interesting. Found it, quite frankly, how should I say it? Asinine, it's ignorant, idiotic. There's a ton of words. But I find that right along those lines because have anybody ever been taught by they people, regardless of who it is, anybody that you know, don't sign anything until you read it first?
Yeah.
That's right.
But y'all took that knowledge threw it over your shoulder and cast it to the wayside and went on and started signing stuff for a perceived benefit without reading it.
True.
Like mortgages, for example.
Yeah.
Like your private business, or like an application when you go to work. Better yet, when you send your children to school, or even better yet, birth certificate, social security card, and the whole cycle starts all over again. Huh. Gas, electricity, food, banking cards, all
Everything.
requires, yeah, your whole life.
Everything.
In that God. So you use your God powers to enslave yourself, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's called, where we come from, Tehona Tonkaton. According to our great laws of peace, and why our great laws of peace are so important, because they are the foundation of not only the United States Constitution, but it is the foundation of international law. And since we're talking about mandates and all that, you can't talk that without talking law, now can you?
Nope. It's all
Nope.
law.
You talking vaccines and what people can do or can't do, you can't do that without talking law, now can you?
Nope.
So if you ain't talking law, then you ain't saying nothing. You just talking loud, but you saying nothing. Or maybe you doing some of the ASMR, talking real softly and saying nothing. But I don't know. It's still not saying nothing. Well, I lost my train of thought with the ASMR.
Great law of peace.
Yeah, great law of peace. Thank you. Back on track. Bingo. Okay, so great law of peace, international law. Let's check that out. So let's go with the U.S. Constitution.
All right, welcome back. And of course, I thought it was an amazing presentation. Quite a lot of information there to share with our friends across the world. And this will absolutely reconnect you to your indigenous roots as Aborigine people, Aboriginal peoples across the Americas. Much of this information was never taught in school. You never heard about it. Was it hidden? I think so. But when the day is done, the time has come when people who have studied our history, our Aboriginal history over many years, are now coming forward to help us to understand who we are, where we're from, and what our rights are. Absolutely. Very interesting information. Adult language, if you ask me, yes, very adult language. Not for kids or the faint of heart, but absolutely powerful information for all of us. And I thought we would share this tonight. So for those of us who are locked here, share the light if you can with some adults, not for kids at all. This is absolutely very serious information as we continue to bring you a presentation which was presented at the Virgin Islands National Assembly to our gathering by Mr. Kibe, a member of the Confederacy of Indigenous Peoples in the Americas. Absolutely very interesting presentation. And I thought it would be nice to share this with you as well. It was a 7-hour long presentation, 7-8 hours. Goodness gracious, a lot to chew. But I thought it is good to at least bring this to you so we can help you to digest some of the amazing information as was presented by this goodly chief. Let's go back to the live.
And great law of peace. And there's a pretty good site. That gives some great information. But even greater information is the actual law itself, which I already have pulled up. So, but this article is pretty decent. It's mollylarkin.com. If y'all want this, let me know. I'll put it in the universal chat. And guess what? Anything
Yes, please.
screen, y'all need to open y'all mouth because closed mouths don't get fed. Y'all hear me?
Yes, please.
Copy that. So I'm gonna control. So anything that I show, if you want it, now I'll tell you if I can't share it because it might be a PDF or something that I have, but definitely anything on the screen that you see that's on the internet, I'll share that joint. That way you can read it in your own time, go over it, you know, roll it around in your skull piece and be like, see if that's good for you or not. You know what I'm saying? Make your own mind up. But don't stop it from being true just because one may not understand it. And bear in mind, no matter in your travels, that the ability to speak does not make one intelligent. Just to say words, even if you're saying them off of paper, don't mean you know what they mean, right? So the ability to speak does not make one intelligent. Bear that in mind and apply it to yourself first, to everybody else second. Check yourself first, because you can't correct nobody else if you're doing the same thing that they doing. True or false?
True that.
Okay.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Man, so everything is about self first, everybody else second, because you even scan you in, just like I do. And if you like most people, I ain't gonna say me, but most people, what people may have learned in grade school and throughout their school cycle, that their constitution or the government, especially if you mainland, and any place else that has a constitution where the United States government was involved, which is everywhere in America, so shit, there you go, may have been based on an ancient Greek democracy, which was a bold-faced lie because ancient Greece was not a democracy. Or maybe their founding fathers just created it and made it up themselves out of thin air. Or maybe they was influenced by another government somewhere in Europe, perhaps. But there was no democracy anywhere in Europe, and that's a testament. It's called the Declaration of Independence, because you know they was breaking away from the king. They sold us a sob story. We fell for it. We began. Yes, it was already beginning. So you know, nonetheless. But the true history of international law and constitution in the Americas is that their stuff is modeled both in principle and form on our great law of peace, which we call Gaianerakoa. I am Onkwe Honwe, Rotono Sona, Kaniona Sono. Right? That means I'm the original being, Grand Council member of what most people would call the Confederacy of Nations. We abide and created in la in, called the Great Law of Peace, the Law of Light, which are the immutable laws of the universe, and they are written so everybody can understand them, study them, read them 1 billion times so you could get it. That's the only way people get it. You can't have this hearsay, and then when you die, the whole story changes to something else. That don't work. You'd be lost in the sauce forever. True or false? What y'all think?
True.
So they state this is absolutely, unequivocally a historical fact. While there may have been other influences, when compared side by side, the influence of our great law of peace is irrefutable. So in 1987, the United States Senate acknowledged that the great law of peace of our people, Rotonosone Onkwe Honwe, follow the laws of Gaianerakoa, formed in the government called Kanionasonoe, and served as a model. They copied it damn near word for word and only left 2 things out to be exact. A model for their Constitution of the United States. And since that Constitution was also a model for the United Nations Charter, was based on our great law of peace, and is also the foundation of what exactly?
International law.
So you can't talk law unless you come and see us. True or false?
True.
On
True.
all aspects and accounts. So don't you worry about Britain and England. We got their ass in check, and we always have, because we ain't never lost shit. And I'm here to tell y'all we ain't never lost nothing. The only thing we lost is our minds. How about that? That's a reality. How many
That's
running
true.
around with driver's license, getting mayor's licenses, signing mortgages, and doing all that? Well, all that shit makes you a citizen of the United States by assimilation, meaning you assimilated yourself. When you sign them contracts, the reason why you assimilate yourself, because all of those contracts are governed by what? Your law or those laws?
Those laws.
Those laws.
Right. So when you agree to be governed by those laws, you waive your right to be you, don't you?
Yeah.
Via consent mutually by signing a daggone contract without reading it. True or false?
True.
So now we could better correct ourselves. The first thing you should learn right now is don't sign any contracts without reading them. And then when you do, if you don't understand them, don't sign them. Don't be so anxious to get the so-called benefit, which ain't, and sign your life away for like nothing, literally, right? Don't do that. Just stop. And you stopping you is the hardest thing you got to fight. True or false, y'all?
Yeah.
Who that?
True that.
Knowledge.
Goes
Let's get
without
some knowledge.
saying.
Yes.
So when they founding fathers look for examples of effective government to run the whole daggone world, literally, to base it on human liberty, and wish to model a constitution to unite those 13 colonies of 13 different nations of Europe. Right or wrong?
Right.
They found it in the government of our people. True that?
Yes, our people.
True that.
In the 18th century, and even until today, I'm going to keep adding, our league is the oldest. Is there anything older than the oldest, people?
Nope.
The oldest, most highly evolved, and everybody be talking about praising the most too. Everybody talk about praising the most too.
The most high.
Well, shit. Then you get. I'm sorry. Let me say I will calm down. My apologies.
Yes. Cousin.
So start praising or worshiping or studying, which those words mean. Start studying the most high, meaning the most highly evolved participatory democracy on planet where now?
Earth.
Bingo! Bingo!
Bingo.
Booyah, right? All up in their face, all up in the place. This
So therefore, my beloved
Our
brother,
ancestors.
I'm listening to you from afar, and
Yes.
while some people are having a serious problem online, some of the things you're saying are highly unusual to some folks who are not even able to grasp it.
Yes.
And
No.
it's quite interesting to see some of the comments that are made. I would ask our friends in this meeting, if you're not understanding what is said, ask questions and stop making silly comments in the chat. I'm going to delete them if you care. This is not for that kind of thing. This is where you learn. And if you don't agree, you research.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Here you go.
my beloved brother, the whole thing now is if the oldest democracy on earth, they have copied the international laws from it. They have copied the United Nations Charter from it and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
These laws, are we privy to finding them? This might be one of the questions that I need to throw at you.
Can we find them?
Yes.
Absolutely. Let me can pull it up real quick. I have no idea what this is, so let me kill that one. Let me kill that one. Okay, don't mind me. I'm still looking for it. Articles of Peace. Asia Tiska, y'all. All right. Let me pull up the Great Law of Peace. I thought I had it up already. I do. Great law of peace. Here y'all go. Y'all want a copy of that? Boom. Let's get a copy of that going. Throw that in the chat. I'll attempt to throw that in the chat. Oop, attempt to throw it. Oh, I don't know. It's not letting me throw it in the chat. But here's the website up there. Write it down. Do what you do. So the great law of peace is established here.
The important thing here is we have to start challenging the history because it's not entirely true.
Absolutely.
To say
That's
that
the bottom line.
Jamaica that I was taught at Casey, or the history that I learned at University in New York is inconsistent. Entire chunks, thousands of years of history have been omitted from what we were taught. We're not going to go that deep today. The idea today is to fill in some of the blanks and show you how it all connects to the circumstances that we find ourselves in on this island right now.
True that.
But it's not. It's the history that sets up the present and the future. Right?
Fortis, my brother. I know you. Fortis, Kingston College. Fortis.
This first slide, I'm being had tongue-in-cheek about it. Just to make you wonder, what makes you Jamaican? And what makes this island Jamaica? You ever wondered about that?
My brother's a PhD. The person who's speaking is a PhD. Fortis.
We know it wasn't God. And if God never tell you, then it can't be true. Must be that some man made it up. Anyway.
Awesome info.
Brother. So definitely everything everybody has been taught is a lie. The higher you go in school, the dumbed down you get, because the deeper the lie get, and they want you invested in that lie.
No doubt.
So that doesn't mean you don't have the capability of finding the truth. That's just mean they're gonna you, because you know, the higher the letters, the more IOUs they slap at you. Oh, here, do this for us.
It's incumbent for us to research,
Absolutely.
find the truth.
The tenets of our laws of our ancestors, the laws of peace, is still and will forever remain a vehicle for creating harmony, unity, and the most important, respect amongst our people. It's recognition of individual liberty, meaning unrestricted movement. Individual justice surpasses that of any, well, we the oldest, democracy, because we the only one that was on earth at the time. The great law of peace includes freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Our women are the title holders and own the land as the soil and are the chiefs. They run the joint. The separation of powers, checks and balances. Most importantly, a government of the people, by the people, and for branches of government, 2 houses in the Grand Council, a woman's council, and a women's court, which is the equivalent of a Supreme Court. We call people Oyatol Court, so to speak. It's just called Oyatol. All of this is proven. All of this is well documented. Can you dig it? Washington expressed excitement over the 2 houses in the Grand Council, and several delegates the Continental Congress in 1776 as helped them write independence 90% of it, and drafted their constitution for them, modeling it on our constitution. That, people, is established in what they call House Congress Resolution 331, which again reiterates this to be an unequivocal fact. And it states 100 Congress, 2nd session, House Congress Resolution 331 was in the Senate of the United States, 1988. It's entitled a concurrent resolution. And it is to acknowledge the contribution of our ancestral government, style Iroquois Confederacy of Nations, to the development of the United States constitutions and other constitutions, because it's all based on this one. So You got one, you got them all. Look at the Constitution of Canada. They all go by the federal government. Everybody go by the daggone federal government. Do y'all go by the federal government? Y'all still all Britain and Europe? Because it's all the same. Yeah, Britain and Europe and all of that. Crown, commercialism. Yeah. So it's a government to government relationship between our people and the United States and the rest of the Americas that's established in every constitution and charter that exists. Can you dig it? That's real. Because when you start really reading your constitution of the island or whatever, you'll see that it's all not independence, meaning independent and free from their rule. It means independent as a child growing up to be independent, to go off on their own, but you still part of your mama. You feel me? So it ain't the same independence like that. So when they say independence, it don't mean you broke free of that. What it does mean is you grew up and you can make money on your own. You understand? You still part of your lineage, part of your family, part of your people. True or false?
True that.
And that's what independence means from their law standpoint. It don't mean you free and not under their rules. So when you look at these independent clauses in Jamaica and St. Lucia and St. Vincent and all these other places, and you look at that verbiage, that is still under the crown. Not only that, it's under the crown, like as in a commercial entity. So if you agree to be the commercial entity or the employee of the commercial entity via contracting, you just lost all of your rights. Does that make sense to anybody?
Drop the knowledge, my man. Yes, King.
Information.
I like to say Inca kings are from Britain and Europe. So I'm not that as the kings that came over here messing our people up. So I can't be that, but you could call
No, we are the first regality. So accept it. We are the first regality.
Yeah, but
they
king,
copy us.
No, I get it. But a king, by definition, is underneath an emperor. A king is no more than a governor.
Understood.
We're not governors of Europe. If you think this is Europe, then go to Europe. But this ain't Europe. This America. We say Inca.
Inca. We understood.
Yeah.
Stand corrected.
Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Just imparting some great wisdom.
Peace,
of
peace.
course.
Peace, peace. We're here to learn. Peace, peace.
Knowledge.
Drop the knowledge, my man.
Nope.
Nope.
See, this is an actual painting. See, this you can go to the museum and Larco Museum and Lima, Peru, and check it out all day tonight and tomorrow till your eyeballs bleed, man. You can get it in for real. Here's they children. The Tierso, Sanguine, Felipe Sanguine, Felipe Tierso, Felipe Cuarto, Carlos Segundo, Felipe Quinto. Look at all these people. What are Caucasians at exactly?
They ain't there yet.
Man, they ain't even there nowhere. What you mean yet? I don't even see them. They ain't coming way
after. That's what I mean.
Way. All these people still sporting.
Way after.
Man, still sporting it. Fernando and all of that. What? Carlos Tierso. That's when they come in way all late and whatnot. See, they come in a little late. But these cats right here, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? And then the description states Holy Roman Emperor. See, he is a Holy Roman Emperor. Kings and czars and the Caesars or the lieutenant czars called a Caesar, a king, dukes, earls, all of that stuff are what they call vassals of the emperor, and they're all related. Remember, Asia Tisca folk, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Right? These people, they're all the same lineage. No different. Never forget it. Don't ever forget it.
I know I won't.
The Holy Roman Emperor, he got the corona or the crown. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And they the ones starting all this stuff. So we just got to give all their stuff back. Once you give all their stuff back, once you give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, unto Rome what is Rome, unto
God what is God,
system, then you right with the world. Can you dig it?
We dig it.
So we clearly seeing right here from these extra images is who the copper-colored races of the Western Hemisphere are. True or false?
True that.
Along with this, they still giving me the blurries, but when I zoom in, they don't give me the blurries. Right?
That's right.
Along with all of this, what's this all about? What's this one all about? I don't know. Oh man, they didn't give it to me. Oh. Look, the treating of slaves in London. Yeah. Treating for slaves, treating. Do you know what treating means? Anybody know? That's interesting. Treating. Y'all know what treating means? What do y'all think treating means? That's London though.
People
doing what now? Treating.
Like what they do with leather.
Most people would.
Preparing, treating, preparing.
Nope, treating means contracting.
Okay.
Right. That's what I said. That's what we meant.
It means contracting. So why would you contract with slaves? That's called indentured servant, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what Joseph
But here's another emblem of
They
America.
were indentured servant, they were not slaves.
Right?
He gonna tell
But
you there
nonetheless,
was
we
no
weren't
slaves.
slaves. That's a whole nother thing. Slavery didn't happen. But
They were indentured servants.
here's an emblem. Emblem.
They're gonna explain to you it's not true.
Yeah. This is when whitewashing happened.
They can explain to me it's not true because I know the slave shipping over some of those people who got was sifted. So
no, we're not saying they didn't come.
Literally.
We have to find the truth. Too much lies.
Yeah. Look at it right there. I mean, this don't look like the Native Americans and all that stuff do it, that they pushing on everybody, does it? She don't look Mongolian or nothing like that. I'm just saying.
It's we. It's we.
Right?
Oh,
a little bit
folks,
more.
man.
Y'all ever heard of the Empire Omalu? Y'all ever heard of Empire Omalu? Anybody ever heard?
Not really. Not really.
So I take it a firm no, because you know the next question. What is it?
Exactly.
Yeah, so no, firm no. Okay, we got that. No. So here's the Empire Omalu. America. Empire Omalu, right? These were clocks and such produced in the 1900s and etc. Now, like I say, I don't like to go to Pinterest, so we'll go to Christie's, which is an auction house. Can y'all dig it? In the States, I'm gonna accept these cookies. Oh shit. All right, boom, there we go. The States at Empire Omalu and painted bronze metal clock Aubon Sauvage. The calendar. Paris, circa what? What year is that? 1800?
Circa approximately, yeah.
Approximately the 1800s. Case attributed to de Vivier. The dial sign Gaston Jolly. The dial and movement possibly associated to case. The estimated price for auction that they wanted was what? Estimated price that they 60 to 90,000 euro. They end up getting what for it? Closed on December 2nd, 2012. 133,000 euros, which is depends on the rate of the euro. It could be anywhere from close to 200,000 to about 160, 70,000. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in there. Depends on, you know, they stuff. But let's read what it states. Right? We see that. That's an image. That's one heck of an image, ain't it?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what this image all about. Let's see what that that sculpture, all gold and whatnot, and bronze and everything, and gold all over the place, and silk and whatnot. Let's see what that is. So we read the first, but let's see. Associate the case, the drum-shaped case, flanked by drapery and surmounted by the seated figure of who exactly? Can y'all see that? What does that say? A seated figure of what now? Where y'all at?
Things are falling apart much faster than you can imagine. If you do not take immediate steps now to save yourself, it will get very serious very quickly. We must come together now to save ourselves economically, socially and spiritually. You must find a strong support system while you can, because things are falling apart fast. Be smart. Let us come together to survive the perilous days ahead. This is not about who you are or what you have. When the day is over, you will be left to face the harsh reality alone. The days of segregation are over. Don't wait until trouble set in and you find yourself up against the wall. Get registered with Lifeline today to secure support before you need it. Lifeline is not only the support giant of the BVI. Lifeline is the family you need to help you through the difficult days ahead. Don't be foolish. Nothing will get better. Save yourself now before things turn for the worst. Become a registered member of the Lifeline family now, and we will help you through the challenging days ahead. You can depend on us. Find us at 4 Mill Mall or call us at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvilimited@gmail.com for more information.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future.
Welcome back, and as we take you up to the 10 o'clock hour, of course, this is an amazing presentation, a 7 into 8 hours presentation. Goodness gracious. The folks just wouldn't let him stop, and he went on and on and on. Well, of course, we had to stop. But I thought the information is quite interesting that I share with you tonight. And of course, I do hope you're enjoying the history, rich history of our people, our Aborigines people, the first people of the lands called the Americas, Caribbean region, Northwest, the Americas, all the way down through the Caribbean region, the Americas, and of course the corporation, Washington D.C., all the lands of the nations as you hear them, Jamaica, West Barbados, Trinidad, Dominica, U.S. Virgin Islands, the United States of America, Canada, name them, England, all the corporate names you know today have divided the world into little blocks, little pieces for corporate gain. All of these things you went through in the presentation. And I think at some later point, I might have to give you an edited presentation of that aspect of the presentation, so you get a clear understanding of how our world was divided. A crazy presentation, and I think it is something that we all need to know as we move forward. Aborigines people of the world across the Americas. A very interesting presentation, and of course it will help us all to understand who we are, where we're from, and exactly what our of the Americas, whether you're in the Caribbean region or in the USA itself, or wherever else around the or the Caribbean regions you are. Yes, one land, one people. One land, one people. Amazing. All right, let us go back to the presentation.
On a palanquin with a hound, supported on the shoulders of who? Supported by who?
4 African boys.
So they clearly make a distinction between who?
American African.
And they call them African what exactly?
Boys.
Not men. So who's the elder in the image? Who's the elder? Yeah, because the is not a child. True or false? Done, meaning America ain't the new world, is it?
No.
Not if you older than the Africans. What? What?
Well,
This ain't the image they ever show, is it?
True that.
Mind-boggling.
A place you ain't never been. So let's look at this. Let's get some detail, y'all. Let's
mind-boggling.
Look at this. Look at the sister. Look just like in the Lefebvre Utul, the afro, the hoop earrings. True that?
True that.
Oops. Right there, the afro, the hoop earrings, a crown of feathers. True that?
True that.
Yes.
Okay. The hoop earrings, the afro, of course, the copper colored skin, and a crown of feathers. True that? Just like the emblem of America, the feathers, the hoop earrings. Y'all seeing a pattern, right? Bows and arrows and whatnot, right? And copper color. We starting to see a trend, aren't we?
Yes.
She got a quiver, bow and arrows, the same like everybody else got. True or false?
True.
The jewelry also did give away, right? The jewelry. Bingity bing bing, right? Got a dog with her. Right?
It's coming into focus.
Yes.
She got her kilt of feathers, doesn't she? And she is sitting up there and got the America boots on, don't she? Right there, look at them. You can see the straps. Boom, boom, gold.
Yeah,
gold. Come on.
True that.
And these are 4 African boys. Notice they ain't got no feathered skirts. Notice they don't have that, do they?
No.
No, they don't.
And they carrying her. They are the servants. She riding on top. Don't get it twisted. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. And they depict the Africans as the little boys, young children. You understand?
Whoa, mind-boggling.
Empire Ormalu got many of these artworks going for exorbitant. Can you dig it?
We dig it.
Christie's.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Barney. Here's another auction house. Right? Here's another auction house. 26,000 for this one. So they not paying all this money for garbage, are they?
No, they're not. They know the truth.
Now y'all know the truth, because we here to get at the what? The truth, right?
Absolutely.
Now, as you can see, similar to the other one, afro, hoop earrings, the jewels, the bows, the arrows, and this sister here, she's sitting on top of a crocodile with the spear through the head. Look at that.
Wow.
See, we matriarchal. Our women tough. And our women are still tough. Y'all beautiful. All y'all sisters beautiful. I respect and love every one of y'all as long as y'all right. Shoot.
Yo, God.
But they God to us, definitely. Ain't were, still is. Still
I'm telling you, they are.
Yeah, still is. Absolutely. They are. Absolutely.
Gratitude.
Definitely agree. Now we're seeing the realities of who we are versus the myth. Can you dig it? Versus the myth. What do you guys think about this?
Awesome.
I'm in lost of words.
There's another emblem.
Sleep out the whole day, man.
You just can't do it. If you do it, then that's a fatal flaw. Because if you're trying to get to the
idea that every so
land barbaria known as Africa, using our people which they've taken our people, such as Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They took the American people to that place known as Barbaria at the time, aka Africa, to form colonies there. So there are some of our people. So obviously with us will come our traditions as well and our influence.
In Southern Africa, certain parts of Southern Africa, you'll find feathers that have feathers. Obviously they wear leopard print. A lot of that is their, their totem animals, shall I say, in those regions. And they are copper colored, a lot of them, naturally, not even dark as what everybody seems to have this idea that every so-called African is jet black. No, there's some copper color. If you do some research, you'll see that. And I was going to ask a question as well about, I was reading something actually yesterday. I was just doing some research because what you said about not all kinfolk are, in America itself, there was people that are calling themselves Moors, there's different fractions from what I've been seeing. And there was a war between the L's and the Bays. Is that correct?
That is not correct. The Moors are definitely from Africa. So there are no Moors in America. They're Americans calling themselves Moors.
Right,
like
that's what I'm trying to get to. That's what, hold on, if you just,
let me finish explaining, because if you're trying to get to there, let me just get it there. We ain't gonna, let's not try, let's just do it. So here's what it is. You asked a question, I'm here to explain, and you said, is that right? And now I'm replying, so allow me to do that. So since I'm replying, and the statement is there are no Moors in America, meaning the term Moor. So this whole thing starts off with words, and you can't just go around saying words and saying what something is and what something ain't without understanding the word. You just can't do it. If you do it, then that's a fatal flaw in thinking. A few things to really express what's really going on, the real from the fake. Africa didn't exist, and it still don't exist to this day. And even the people in so-called Africa are really the Romans. So there's that history that nobody is aware of. There's a whole history that no one is aware of. That's a big, huge problem right there. I mean, that's a gaping problem. So it leads to a lot of people who went to schools, no matter where you went to schools at, to learn how to indoctrinate, because you've been indoctrinated.
No
Colonization means the process of colonizing, or a state of being a colony. 1758, from noun of action meaning colonize. But here's the important. What does this state? It states in U.S. history, it means what? Let's read. In U.S. history, the what? Somebody read that.
The movement for us. Go ahead.
For assisted immigration of free Blacks to Africa for the formation of colonies there.
That's hard to read, ain't it? Because you just want to say it the other way, but it won't let you, right? So in U.S. history, see the U.S. history, not school history, not fake history or European history, but U.S. history. See, colonization, when the Britons and all of them came over here, and the French and the Mongolians and the Romans and the whole gambit of Tartary, Asia Tisca folk. Remember, ain't no such thing as an African, because they all are called what people? We just looked at it right here. Where did we look at it at? Oh, we looked at it right here, that the Negrito, so-called Africans, so-called the original peoples of Europe that's already been established, the so-called Negrito, the whole of the Negrito race is really not their own race, but they are a part of a race called who people at the top of this? It's called what now again?
Asia.
So you can't be none of that stuff, because ain't none of these people got feathers in their head. See, that's a problem right there, because I don't see nobody with feathers. That's brand new feathers in their head. That's brand new. So brand new, it ain't even funny. I'm older than the feathers in their head. Matter of fact, y'all older than most places in so-called Africa. Did y'all know that? Everybody on this land is older than Africa, right?
My brother, sorry, I was just going to speak about something that I'd seen, and I just want some clarity. I come from an indigenous nation, so I know exactly what you're talking about. in my blood right through up into the present day. So
Mhm.
I know exactly where you're coming from. It's just that this, what I was listening to, maybe you can give me some clarity, but they were saying that and the bays.
And I'm saying there's no more
Right,
in America.
okay, right.
So we're done.
Somebody called, what's his name? Apparently they said that he's indigenous to the land of America. That's what I was reading. And his name is I just wanted you to just, Larry Hoover. And that he was the king of well, from that bloodline, his mother was the matriarch. That's what I was reading. I just wanted some clarity on that. That's what I was going to ask about. And then you just kind of shut me down. But if you could just give me a bit of clarity on that.
Misinformation.
Yeah, I just want clarity, that's all.
So here's the thing, Larry Hoover, right? Now you talking me. I'm from what they call Chicago. They're my people.
Right, exactly. That's what I went to know.
There are no Moors in Chicago. There are no Moors in the Americas. You got Americans calling themselves Moors. To the facts. The fact is that just because you and then you decide to call yourself an African American, or whatever you choose to call yourself, there ain't no more war between the L's and the Bays than there are against from the L Rookins, the Vice Lords, or the BDs and the GDs. You know, I help bring them people together. Matter of fact, some of my people is King Zakir, the leader, new leader after Jeff Ford, Larry Hoover, and all of those cats, right? That's my
listening to I think he said he was a general.
And that's cool. But there's no war. See, those foundations, right. so like the El Rookins.
No war, but it's like
Chief Malik.
Something like this happened in the Caribbean, for example, with what people call themselves Maroons. And there was two fractions. One side did treaties with the British and promised to hand over those who didn't want to. Yeah, Kojo, that was Kojo. He promised to hand over those that didn't want to be under the jurisdiction of the British. Now, from what I was reading about this Society of Philadelphia, they call it the Moorish Society of Philadelphia. They, 1933, were in Congress. This is what I was reading, that they were given accolades for Americanizing. They were actually Moors and they were Americanizing the Moors that came over. There was 4 Moors, and this, I just wanted to know if any of that's true, because it's all written down. It's all recorded.
It's not true. There's a lot of things written down. So allow me.
Divide and conquer. All of it's fake then, because these Moors, they're going around. No, they're going around putting that in their paperwork. I found it strange because I was looking at it and something kept on feeling like this doesn't feel right. And the more I researched into it, the more I looked into it, I was like, what is this? What is this? And there's pictures of them and they say they get funded by the American government. And I'm like, but
European tactics, tactics, divide and conquer. The Maroons in Jamaica with the Kojo incident is the same thing, divide and conquer.
Yeah,
it's not true. They create this stuff.
So Kojo didn't sell out his people then, and Nani, what happened then? So that's not true either.
Yeah,
nothing like that.
That's true. There are people that sell people out. Now, that is true and it's written.
That's the same type of energy I got when I Moors.
Allow me to.
They use money to divide and conquer. Incentive.
Well, allow me to demonstrate, please. They use more than that because money is governed by law, so they use laws to divide and conquer. They don't use money. Allow me to demonstrate.
I yield.
Appreciate it, but great insight. It is divide and conquer, and that can be analyzed by just pulling up the treaty. So you can't say this nondescript treaty and then not pull it up. We can't do that. We can't afford to do that. And we can't afford to say just terms without understanding the term. So thing and everything, and you can't govern and control yourself as to what type of that intellectual food you choose to eat. And most of it is junk food. So everybody likes to eat McDonald's. So a lot of people go eat McDonald's in the form of intellectual McDonald's and intellectual Burger King, and they mind get fat and lazy from that food.
Love it, love it.
And my brother, can you just give me some clarity on what
I'm about to clarity. So
they're
if
calling
you will allow
themselves?
me, this question is going to take about 30 minutes to explain. So I need silence and I will answer it right now. Is that fair?
Fair.
Wham,
No,
bam,
that's
bam,
not fair.
bam. What's that? It's not fair?
No, that's not. I'm sorry. I've been holding my peace for a minute and a half, and I'm hearing a lot of nonsense being spoken, a lot of proper information, but a lot of nonsense being spoken.
Okay.
And I like what you said, my brother, in the very early. And forgive me for interjecting, because the sister did ask some very rather important questions. Because there are others who are here who read, and you rightly said earlier on, my dear brother, that you have to go back to the written history, even though it is all, we still reading the history of our colonizers. We still have to go back because they like to write, they like to show off. So we go back and we read and we study and we compare based on the information given, and we look for critical sources, substantial sources. I mean, you said a lot of things, and I've been taking notes, and I stopped taking notes because I can't address everything that you've mentioned. And again, I agree with a lot of what you said. I agree with a lot of what the sister said in the very beginning. But to go another 30 minutes, there are many others who are holding their peace, because there are a lot of words you are using that are jumping around and still not in context. Or there's a big question that's on my mind right now, where you show a difference between the Africans and the Aborigine, or what you say, indigenous. So I would love you to answer the sister's question, but taking 30 minutes again, going on a diatribe, there are many other questions that needs to be answered. So I yield so you can reply to the sister.
I
But
don't
30
need
minutes.
30 minutes. I
30 minutes. No.
I already know what he's going to say about the Moors. I know about this part, what you've got on the screen, my brother. I thank you for that. It doesn't need 30 minutes. I want other people to have a chance to speak. It's just that when I'm seeing on documents that people are aligning themselves and calling themselves Moabites and Canaanites, it's quite confusing, because a lot of people don't really understand what they're aligning themselves to. That's all I was going to say. What you're talking about with the Moors, and I do know about a lot of it, because I've gone and studied myself and done a lot of my own research about the terms and the Moorists, and I do listen to a lot and read a lot, and I don't want to take up any more time, so I'm sure there's other people with questions. So thank you for your willingness to explain a few more things, but maybe another time. Thank you.
I do appreciate you, sister. I will say that confusion is also here in the mainland too, and they're causing that confusion here over too.
I find it quite disturbing. But anyway, that's another conversation.
So what I want to do is just explain. So if y'all take 30 minutes to express your question, that takes away from me, time for me. It's like the time y'all had all of that banter, I could have already explained it. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, we got the question. I just want to answer it. And to answer it where everybody could see it. Because like the brother said, you have to read, and everything is written in books. And as we stated, if you don't know what the words mean that's written in the books, then you will get a wrong interpretation of what. And number two, all things written don't mean it's true, because there's writings that call us African Americans. There's all kind of writings out there and all kind of different books that was written in what we would call history, the 1900s and 1800s. There's a lot of Reconstruction eras that people don't know about. So let's address this thing called Moor. So what is a Moor? Well, a Moor, quite frankly, is a North African, which a North African is actually a Berber. What's a Berber? It's a race, one of the race, just one of the race dwelling in this place called Barbary. Well, what's Barbary, Coda? Great, Barbary is called Barbaria. Here's a map titled The Theater Orbis Terrarium, or the Theater of the Globe, right? Published 1527, right? Coming down, geography, early works to the 1800, covering Earth, and it is a world atlas. This is real as opposed to the stuff they teach in school. And as you can see, it looks like Spain, Italy, and so-called Africa. But one thing you will notice, it's not called Africa. It's actually called Barbary. See, one of the race dwelling here. And as you can see by the names, it is highly densely populated. But ain't none of this is African stuff, so to speak. It's all what? Latin, European. These are the people. If you want to see where Africa is at, what is this, people? What is that state? What is this right here? What is that? Can y'all read that? Can y'all?
Africa. Africa.
And Africa is shown as a what? A whole continent or what? A city? Is that what it's shown as?
A small city.
And that's right next to Scarlata. And look, across the river is Africus, isn't it?
Yes.
That's no, Africa is no, matter of fact, Remera is bigger and larger city than Africa, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh man, let's look at this right here. What is this state? Napoli, doesn't it? Napoli.
Yes.
Right next to Nubia, Napoli. Right next to Nubia, right next to Kipa and Zafaran, right? All of those cities, but you got Napoli right there. You come across the pond, you have what right here? What is that right there? What's that? Napoli. It's the same N-A-P.
Same thing.
O-L-I. Don't pronounce it different. It ain't.
Oh, Napoli.
Man,
same thing.
N-A-P-O, man, that's not a
Same
coincidence.
thing.
Thank you. Here's Tunis right here. Tunis, or which became Tunisia, which was really the city of what? Tunis. Y'all seeing the reality versus the fake that everybody, look, it's called reconstruction, where they get a bunch of artists to create a history for you. See, that's all. But this the Library of Congress. You could take this into any court and they'd be like, yeah, this is the truth right here. So I'm just going to use lawful evidence. This is Constantinia right here in Africa, so-called, but it ain't called Africa. It's called Barbaria across the whole landmass. Look at that. Check it out. I'll show you. It says
True that.
B-A-R, doesn't that say B-A-R ... right? B-A-R, right? Here's B-A ... bar, ba. And then right here, you got the Ria, Barbaria, right? The whole thing, Barbaria, the whole thing. This is the 1500s. So how can you, so what? Slaves came from this city, you saying Africa, this city way over here, and they took all the millions of people from that little bitty old city, right? And transport them all the way around halfway to, what? That don't even make sense.
Scipio Cornelius Africanus is a blasted European.
Look, that's a lie too, because if he was Scipio Africanus, then he just founded this little city right here. That's what I'm saying. And that's what history's saying, and that's what the law say. So that's a story. Scipio Africanus don't even really exist, because it don't. No more than Amerigo Vespucci don't exist like that, man. It's part that's just not true. So now that we understand a Moor is a North African, so somebody from what, the north side of Africa, or a Berber, which is all it is. So the Moors are from everywhere that you see here. This ain't America. So there are no Moors in America. There's people who think they might be Moors, but that ain't the same as being Moors. So whatever constructs they come up with and whatever squabbles they have, like Blood versus Crips, it don't even matter. Can y'all dig it?
Things are falling apart much faster than you can imagine. If you do not take immediate steps now to save yourself, it will get very serious very quickly. We must come together now to save ourselves economically, socially and spiritually. You must find a strong support system while you can, because things are falling apart fast. Be smart. Let us come together to survive the perilous days ahead. This is not about who you are or what you have. When the day is over, you will be left to face the harsh reality alone. The days of segregation are over. Don't wait until trouble set in and you find yourself up against the wall. Get registered with Lifeline today to secure support before you need it. Lifeline is not only the support giant of the BVI. Lifeline is the family you need to help you through the difficult days ahead. Don't be foolish. Nothing will get better. Save yourself now before things turn for the worst. Become a registered member of the Lifeline family now and we will help you through the challenging days ahead. You can depend on us. Find us at 4 Mill Mall or call us at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvilimited@gmail.com for more information.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future.
Let me thank you for joining us. And of course, this is an absolutely interesting presentation. It's just warming up, I'm sure. The presentation was about 7 hours long, and trust me, some real stuff came out closer to the end. I think at another point we will share that with you because it is absolutely incredibly interesting. Basically right here, and of course it's good to get the groundwork in place so you can understand at least when we get where we begin to explain to you the development of the corporate societies across the world, the Jamaica, the Barbados, the United States of America, the Canada, the Britain, all of these lands as they are so called today as we know them, to think that it's all one land mass. You look at the Americas, the Caribbean region with all the islands popping up out of the water, to look at the US of America, the United States of America, for example, and to realize that it's all one land mass, only divided by corporate means. Each was registered to be there to divide them for monetary gain. Disgraceful. And our people, by virtue of that position, have been divided, literally divided, and now we don't even understand who in hell we are. It's disgraceful. And this is why I thought this presentation is really seriously interesting, because it helps to reconnect us with our status as the Aborigine people of the Americas. Absolutely a very credibly lawful position, which we must understand if we're going to restore our original heritage. Critically important. At some other time, I'll edit the rest, and I'll edit in. Tonight is a raw presentation, absolutely raw as it was recorded. But I think in order to get to the meat of the matter, I'm going to edit down right down to the gravy, so I can give it to you in raw fashion on another broadcast at some point soon. I'm sure the presenter himself, Chief Key Bay, will be here as well to share with you some very interesting facts as we continue to bring world right here on PSI Network, PSI TV. We thank you so much for joining us, and of course, it's always a pleasure being here with you. Share this with your friends, let them know that we are always here from Monday evening on Facebook and on YouTube. Please go to our YouTube page. Please subscribe, that when we share, you are connected. Just type in PSI TV live broadcasts on YouTube, and of course, you'll be able to follow every live presentation that we do right here on PSI Network. Thank you so much for joining us, and of course, it's always a pleasure having you. Share it with your friends, and of course, we'll continue to keep you informed as we continue to bring some crazy information from all parts of the world to you right here on PSI Network. All the best until we catch up next Monday, and of course, keep it safe. Whatever you do, do not allow yourselves to be exploited or fooled into doing stuff that is unconstitutional or even unlawful. Keep your chin up, keep your eyes open, keep your mind awake. Don't allow yourselves to be fooled, again I say. And as I wrap up, please note that things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Store some food. Buy some food now and store it. Buy some rice, store it. Buy some non-perishable foods, grains, all of that. Store them. I'm not remembering what the machine name of the machine that you can use to dry foods, dry your fruits, dry your meats, dry all of these things and store them, because the time is coming when you will need to have food. I was watching a presentation just this week where the trucks, milk trucks, the big containers on the back of these trucks were opened in a field, and milk was running like water to waste. You know those big trucks that carry water. Those are not water trucks; those are milk trucks. Big container on the back, double in many cases with those trucks. They just turn the outlet on it, turn it on, and milk was running to waste. And people across the world are hungry as hell. I couldn't believe it. In another case, hundreds of tons of potatoes were dumped. Hundreds of tons of potato dumped in a hole and buried. And yet people are hungry across the world. Yes? Livestock killed and dumped, and people are hungry. It seems they're trying to induce famine. And then when food cannot be had, you will now have a problem running around the place trying to find food. You better start preparing fast. Because come next year, we're now in September, next year will be a different kettle of fish. You better prepare for it. It's not going to be easy. Prepare. Get food. Save food. Next thing, you can't go to a supermarket unless you're vaccinated. Okay. So you make sure that you prepare yourself for this madness. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Save all the stockpile. Put away all the non-perishable foods and grains and that you can find, because you will need it. Take my word. It will get worse before it gets better. We'll bring you more information. Stay connected, and all the very best to you until we catch up next week, Monday evening, right here on PSN Network. All the very best to you until we see you next Monday evening. Peace.